we saw on Tuesday's NXT, a show I don't really watch live anymore, but I caught up after the fact and was kind of spoiled by it because I didn't think anything major would happen on Tuesday. TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace debuting. She was in the Rumble, but debuting on NXT as Roxanne Perez's next opponent for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground next weekend. And Ethan Page, not from TNA. He spent time in TNA, but he's coming over from AEW and Ring of Honor. Left there earlier this month, and now he's apparently signed to an NXT WWE deal. So, your thoughts on the arrival of Ethan Page in WWE, if you think he can be a good fit there, and what Jordynne Grace being in NXT for the time being means as far as that collaboration between the two companies, NXT and TNA, and if we are indeed bound to see more of it per PW Insider.
Yeah, I think the whole TNA NXT thing makes sense for WWE. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense for TNA. For NXT, I feel like they kind of need a little bit more like jolt. They have taken a lot of people off NXT to the main roster, but like for TNA, it's like you're collabing with a developmental brand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's not the greatest rub of. It's not like they're working with Raw and SmackDown. They're working with NXT, but I think for NXT itself, I think it's a positive. Like I said, I think they could use a little bit more star power. They've taken a lot of people from NXT that were over to the main roster, so I like that. And like you said, with Ethan Page, I feel like he's good. His run in AEW wasn't the greatest, but I think he could be someone that they can kind of replenish the pot with as well in NXT and give him like a fair shake and see like what he can do.
I'll take him as the NXT Championship #1 contender over Noam fucking Dar. So, he's certainly an improvement in that respect because they were just very much lacking in that main event scene. But, no, I think the WWE TNA stuff makes sense. I think it makes sense for TNA, too, because honestly, dude, they're not going to get any more buzz than they have right now. They had a chance earlier this year when they rebranded as TNA. They had a lot of momentum and shit. We talked about it at the time. I thought going back to TNA was kind of a step backward, but a lot of people liked it, brought back nostalgia, whatever. They had the momentum. They fire Scott D'Amore. It really hasn't been the same since. I watch the shows. I enjoy the TNA shows, but there's just not a lot of buzz there as there has been for the past decade. It's been the case now for about 10 years, the lack of buzz around the product. If this brings buzz and more eyes to TNA, I think it's a plus. I think it's a win-win because WWE for the longest time would be like, hey, we're not going to acknowledge these other companies. We don't want to work with them. We don't want to give them free promotion. TNA, dude, as we all know, and it has been for a long time now, is not a fucking threat to WWE. So them acknowledging TNA, using people as they are, not renaming them, using their champions, calling them by their title names, I think it's totally fine. And I think it's going to get to a point where we could see people from WWE, at least from NXT, I think, on TNA shows. I don't know who that would be. Maybe I could see someone like an Natalya, who is a main roster talent, but I could see someone like an Natalya going into work a match against Jordynne at like Slammiversary or something. Like that, I just think would be a great get for them. So I hope this sort of shit continues.
Yeah, I think depending on the right people, I can definitely do like a little switch and flopping around. Like I said, Natalya would be actually a good person who's just not really doing a lot with WWE, and let her go to TNA, and I think it's worth it. It's worth executing it. I think does it have to work? No, but I think it's worth a try.
Definitely too big of a name, but do you think AJ Styles, these rumors of him getting one more run in TNA? Not that it's going to happen, but I think I would personally love to see it, have him one last retirement run. He wouldn't retire in TNA, but just to go into the Hall of Fame and have a match of Bound for Glory or some shit, I think that'd be amazing.
He has to bring the old theme back. That's my only request.
He'd have to bring the old theme back. It would not fit his current persona at all, but that would be awesome, though. That would be sick.
So,
I don't expect it happening, but I would totally love to see it. Hopefully we do get more crossover in the weeks and months ahead, and it's an exciting time to be a fan for all these companies. We'll talk more about it next week here on the show, including NXT. I'll probably do NXT Battleground predictions if I remember. If not a big deal. It's not going to be a massive show, but I am looking forward more to the show than I was previously now that Jordynne Grace and Ethan Page are on it, so should be a solid time.